I'm Matt Shadetek. I'm a producer and DJ based in Brooklyn, New York. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at adding a little bit of a looser feeling to our percussion parts. I've got this house track that you just heard in the intro, and I'll just solo out my percussion. I'm using the Latin kit in Ultrabeat, and so you can just give it a closer listen. You know, I'm no master Latin percussionist, but it's good enough for my house track, and it's got a nice kind of lively feeling. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how that was created. So I'm actually going to mute this one, and then I've got down here, this is just a copy of that track where I've got the sequencer turned on. So I started out by step sequencing a 2-bar loop in Ultrabeat in the full view here, and I'll just play you how that sounds. And let's just solo it out real quick. So it sounds fine, right? But it's a little robotic, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this pattern right here, this little waffle, and drop it into the arrange, right? So now we can turn off the sequencer and we've got our part as MIDI, and we can do some work with it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open it up, and I'm going to apply a little bit of swing here. Now, when you're working with swing, it's a good idea to start with things kind of on a very similar or the same swing. So I use this 16 swing B for my other drum parts. So I'm going to apply that to my percussion so they're kind of swinging the same way. So I'm just going to select them all, go to the menu here and choose 16 swing B, and you can see they get just a little shifted off the grid, right? What happens is that every other note is just made a little later, and that's what swing does. It's every other note, in this case every other 16th note, is delayed a little bit. So now we can hear how that sounds. Here's before. So it's nice, right? It's giving us a little looser feeling. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually use some techniques to add a little bit of randomness to this. So I'm going to start by just making a number of copies of this MIDI data. So I'm just going to option drag it over, select all, and option drag it again. So now I've got 8 bars of the same thing so far, right? So now I'm going to select all of those notes. I'm going to go up to Functions, MIDI Transform, Humanize. And what Humanize does is it allows us to apply a little bit of randomness to our selected MIDI data. So we can randomize the position. This is by 10 ticks, plus or minus up to 10 ticks. We can do the velocity, plus or minus 10 velocity, or the note length. Now in this case I don't really want to change the note length, so I'm going to set that to 0, but I do want to change the position and the velocity, and I'm actually going to go for a little more intense velocity. Let's go for plus or minus 20 velocity. So I'm going to raise that range, right? So it might go up or down, up to 20 velocity. The position I'm going to keep the same, but you can play around with these. Now, because I've already got it selected, I don't need to hit select and operate. I can just hit operate only, and when I do, you'll see, right, that the colors changed a little bit, the position changed a little bit, and now it's just going to be a little bit different, and now each of these copies is going to be a little different from each other. Let's try it out. So you can hear, right, our ear just kind of detects that tiny bit of difference, and it just feels a little less loopy and a little less robotic. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to add something, one of the new MIDI effects in Logic Pro X, which is going to cause constant variation. So this MIDI data now has 8 bars of variation, but we're going to add even more variation on top of that. So what we're going to do, I've actually got it here turned off, but let's just add a fresh one. I'm going to set it to no plugin to zero it out, and then let's add a randomizer. This is a very interesting plugin, and it's actually preset to work on velocity, which is what we want. So here we've got a range of how much randomness we're going to get. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow in the range. So it's not going to go all the way up or all the way down. It's just going to kind of sit in this middle range. And what I'm going to say is make it just a little bit towards the quiet side. So it's going to more often, it's going to get a little quieter than it is louder because we've already got some fairly loud notes in here. We don't really need to be hitting the maximum all the time. Let's maybe set that to 15% quieter. Now we could also apply an overall offset. This would just say add 25 or 30 to everything all the time, but I'm going to keep that at 0 because I think we're in a good range. And let's just hear how that sounds. And just as a kind of an A/B test, we can check this against our original part. I'll mute it and turn off the randomizer, turn the sequencer back on. And then here's our whole part. So, hopefully that has been helpful for you in your own music. If you'd like to learn more about me, you can check me out at mattshadetek.com or on Twitter, I'm at Matt Shadetek. And if you'd like to learn more about Dubspot, check out Dubspot.com. We've got a full 48 class Logic course where you can learn all these techniques and many, many more. You could take that online or you can take that at our school in New York City or our school in LA. So thanks again for watching and see you soon.
Welcome to Dubspot. We believe in providing you hands-on experience right away. Whether you're completely new to music and want to turn the sounds in your head into a musical reality, or you're an experienced artist looking to refine your skills and add new tools to your arsenal, we're ready to meet you at your level. For students of all ages, all levels, and all styles of music, Dubspot is here to help you achieve your goals. With course offerings both online wherever you are and at our school in the heart of New York City, we are ready to guide you through the next phase of your musical transformation. Whether you want to produce music, DJ, or do both, you've come to the right place. Come explore Dubspot for yourself, become a part of our community, and make music.